Namaste and welcome to Yoga Essentials. I'm Scarlett and this is the Asana Spotlight, and today we're going to be looking at the boat pose and Navasana. So whenever you're going into a yoga posture, there's three things that you must consider first in order for you to get to the full expression of that posture. So the first thing is the foundation, second is alignment, and the third thing is the drishti. So once you've got those done, you need to just expand and open throughout the whole of the body, lengthening and broadening to create that final expression of the posture that you're in. So I think the best way for me to share and support you into this posture is to basically point out some of the common mistakes that people make and the things that really need to be actively present in your practice for you to find that full expression that's available to you as an individual. So we're going to look at some variations, but we're going to look at common mistakes that people make and how to rectify those. So what is the alignment for Navasana? There's 3 lines of extension. We're lengthening from our sit bones into our soles of the feet. The legs are straight. And we're lengthening from the sit bones to the crown of the head. That's another line. And we're lengthening from our shoulders into our fingertips. So, foundation. The common mistake here is that people are collapsing into the spine. The lower back is dropping towards the floor, sacrum dropping down, and the front of the body is completely closing. And we've lost this line of extension from the sit bone into the crown of the head. So we need to be conscious that the sacrum is lifting away from the floor. We're in an anterior tilt. So the pelvis is tilting forward and we're coming forward towards the edge of the sit bones. So collapsing, all my weight is on my tailbone. If I shift forward, I'm going to spread the weight evenly between 3 points, the tailbone and the 2 sit bones. So I've got a triangular foundation which I'm looking for to create that stable foundation. So once I've found that, I can straighten my legs, and the first position would be to actually hold one wrist behind the legs, and that's going to enable me to set my foundation and check that I've got those 2 lines of extension. The third line, the arms, I can leave until I'm very happy that I have this lengthening in the spine. And I'm lengthening through the legs. I want to engage the thigh muscles and slightly internally rotate the legs so the inside edges of the feet are coming together and the soles of the feet are opening. Pada bandha. Lengthen through the legs, engage the thigh muscles, inner edges of the feet are together and my feet are lengthening, toe bases are broadening and the toes are spreading. It's important that you're not pointing your toes. If you're pointing your toes, you're creating a closing in the feet. You're restricting this final lengthening and extension through the legs, and you're creating tension in the lower leg. So please, no pointed toes in asana practice. If you just want to do gymnastics, it's really fine. Point your toes. But if you want to do asana, if you want to get to that state where you are creating comfort and an effortless expression, free from tension, then there's no instance where you should be pointing your toes in asana. I see people pointing their toes in handstand. I see people pointing their toes in Paschimottanasana. I see people pointing their toes in Utthita Hasta Padangusasana. It's just not asana. It's not asana when you're pointing your toes because it defeats the criteria that Patanjali has laid down in the Yoga Sutras. Comfort, stability, free from tension, effortless, non-dual action. So, please don't point your toes. Pada bandha is there for a reason. Lengthen through the feet, broaden across the toe bases and spread the toes evenly. Internally rotating through the legs, internal rotation as you engage the thigh muscles will help to widen the sit bones. Separate the sit bones so your foundation will be more stable because it'll be broadening. These are little micro movements that are happening. The sit bones are widening a little bit, and it's going to create more of a foundation. So internal rotation through the legs. Legs are active, strong, opening the soles of the feet, spreading the toes. In the upper body, we want to maintain length in the front of the torso. So as I said, this collapsing in the spine is not supporting a free expression in the body. You want to create a long spine. The spine needs to be happy as you're moving through your practice. As much as possible, we're working towards creating release in the spine. So this, not good. This, good. When you have this lengthening through the front of the body, you are also creating Uddiyana Bandha. So whenever you go into a posture, focus on lifting sternum away from the pubic bone, lengthening through the front of the torso so the abdomen is becoming long and hollow. If you cannot get length through the front of the body while in the classical position, bend the knees. This is going to allow you to really find that length and Uddiyana Bandha. One of the things that's also going to support this length is the shoulders releasing down away from the ears. If you allow the shoulders to shrug up towards the ears, this is going to close the chest area and stop any movement or a possibility of expansion. So always keeping the shoulders down away from the ears is going to help to create that elevation in the front of the body, the lift and the lengthening that is required for this posture. So shoulders away from the ears, find length in the front of the body, lift the sacrum away from the floor, pelvis tilting forward, and make sure the neck is happy. Your dristi in this posture is the toes. Making sure that you are just lifting your gaze towards your toes and not flipping your head back. You want to keep your chin slightly tucked down and in as you lift your gaze towards your toes. Shoulders away from the ears, lengthen through the front body. It is demanding, it's not easy, and then lengthen from the shoulders into the fingertips. Spread the hands, Hasta Bandha, spread your fingers, broaden across the palms. Again, this is really important when you are working in asanas, that we're not creating contraction, unnecessary contraction in our body. The whole point of asana is to create more space and more freedom in our body. If we can do that in our body, then our mind will follow. And potentially, asana is a way to help us transform the mind. So the more space and freedom we create in our body, the more space and freedom we will find being created in our mind. This is space and freedom. This is not space and freedom. I see students, yoga teachers as well, doing this with their hands, and I always wonder why, because it doesn't fit the criteria of asana. So if you want to be doing asana and not just shape making, think about using Hasta Bandha in your practice whenever possible. If your hands are free of the floor, they are wide, fingers are spreading. Your hands are on the floor, they are wide, fingers are spreading. In postures like Trikonasana, do not make an arrowhead with your hand. Spread your fingers, open your palms, create that space. And you'll find that when you do use Pada Bandha and Hasta Bandha, it's going to create more extension and opening in other parts of your body. Whatever you do in one part of your body has an effect on all other parts of the bodies. So if you are spreading through your hands, you can feel a lengthening in the arms and an opening that comes in the chest just by this action in the hands. Don't just take my word for it, feel it in your body and understand it as something that can really support you to go deeper into an expression of asana. So back to Navasana. Legs are active, internally rotating, keeping the inner edges of the feet together. Pada Bandha, lengthen through the feet, broaden through the toe bases and spread the toes. Shoulders down away from the ears as you lengthen through the front of the body. Lengthen through the arms and spread the fingers. Palms broad and open. The back of the neck is long, chin is tucking slightly down and in, and you're gazing towards your big toes. Making sure you're not collapsing in the lower back. You're lifting the sacrum away from the floor and rocking forward slightly until you find the back edge of your sit bones and you're balancing on sit bones and the tailbone. Now, if this is all too much for you and you can't get into the full expression, there are options. You can take hold of the back of the legs. So I'm holding one wrist and just supporting my legs with my arms. Alternatively, I would prefer to do this where you just bend the knees and you maintain the extension through the arms to the fingertips. So this is point A and then this would be B. And if this is too much for you, you can simply drop the toes towards the floor and have a really beautiful expression of Navasana where you are lengthening through from the sit bones to the crown of the head, lengthening through from the shoulders to the fingertips, and still feeling that stability in the foundation. So that's pretty much Navasana. If you have any questions, do put them in the comments below. And we have a few more postures that people have requested that we will be working through in the next few weeks. And if you have a posture that you particularly would like us to look at, then let us know. Really happy you could join us, and we have lots of other offerings coming up on Yoga Essentials, so stay with us and look forward to seeing you next time. Blessings, lots of love, have a great week. Namaste.